Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. My name is Jason Perry, and I'm the National Sales and Marketing Director here at MAS. And I'd like to introduce you to MAS. We're a nationally recognized, award-winning field marketing organization and a leader in the insurance brokerage industry. And our office is located in beautiful Hoover, Alabama, just outside of Birmingham, and we're at about 83 degrees right now, so it's very nice here. And we're excited to share with you that MAS became a partner of Integrity Marketing Group in October of 2019. We had a long-standing relationship with Integrity Marketing Group over the years, so it was a natural alignment for us to become a platform partner. And through this, MAS will be able to bring more products, more tools, and more resources to our broker distribution. We're truly honored to be working alongside our other partners in our industry. And Integrity isn't just on the cutting edge of insurance technology, it's really leading the way. Developed by world-class experts, our proprietary tools, resources, and exclusive services help customize the insurance experience so consumers can find the right coverage and be prepared for the good days ahead. And at MAS, we are proud of the superior service, support, and training we provide to the agents across the country who work with us. We take great pride in our relationships with our agents and our carriers. Our staff provides marketing strategies and assistance creating numerous opportunities for our agents through our lead programs, our Turning 65 platform, the Agency Builder program, Fast Start, and other initiative programs. And here at MAS marketing managers and directors are eager to work with producers to help you grow your business. We can provide a market analysis of products available in your area to assist you in developing a strategic marketing plan for your business. We're always up to date on the latest products, carriers, lead programs, and services as they become available. And of course, we're always available to provide both back office and field support, making it easier for you to concentrate on sales growth. Our goal at MAS is to help you grow your business. And our specialty is the senior market, and our carrier portfolio is supported by, just to name a few, Medicare supplements, prescription drug plans, Medicare Advantage, final expense, whole life, term life, universal life, annuities, hospital indemnity, critical illness, cancer, and dental, vision, and hearing plans. Here's just a brief view of our portfolio of carriers. This is not all the carriers, but just so you had an idea. And this is, we do have exclusive lead programs. Agents with 3 or more active carriers, receive a discount on their first lead mailing, and we do have co-op programs available for consistently producing agents. A lead co-op is also available to agencies with a downline hierarchy, so ask about cost-sharing opportunities there. And check out the new Medicare Center. It's really a one-stop shop for everything you need to successfully navigate the sales and enrollment process. You can experience the Medicare Center with the full power of CSG's resources, e-apps, data analysis, quoting tools, competitive analysis heat maps, and an exclusive website plug-in to capture MedSup leads. And for those of you who actually sell Medicare Advantage, we've all heard about the phone call recordings. This is actually going to be built into the Medicare Center where you can record your calls. So if you're with us, you don't need to worry. We've taken care of all of it. No need to go looking anywhere else. This tool will put you on the cutting edge of technology, offering you the ability to run quotes for Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, compare products side by side, download current applications and outlines of coverage for desired plans, email applications and outlines of coverage directly to your clients. And all agents that wish to use the tool, you just need to register for a username and password on our website, and you must be contracted with MAS for select Medicare products to use the tool. The T65 locator makes it very easy to find local Medicare prospects. It's quick to use, and pulling up your location on the map is simply a breeze. I mean, and the best part, it's free for agents who do business with Medicare Advantage specialists. Awesome tool. And we all know that growing your business is only going to happen if you develop a winning strategy, you consistently put in the work, and you utilize smart tools and platforms to make it easier for you to deliver your expertise to the right clients. And that's why we've developed a Turning 65 workshop platform. We assist our agents in identifying target markets for the turning 65 population, and we created a process that's so simple for agents to follow that we now have so many agents hosting weekly and monthly meetings, creating a tremendous stream of lead generation. So if you'd like to know more about this program, please talk with one of our marketing directors or managers today here at MAS. For those of you who are interested in building an agency, we have an agency builder program. So there's many things that we can do. We specialize call campaigns and we have co-op opportunities. So if you'd like to build an agency, give us a call and we'll be happy to go through that with you. And for new agents, we have our Fast Start bonus. We give you a $25 gift card for your first issued app and a $75 gift card for 4 more apps issued in the same month. And our agent referral bonus is also available to you as well. You get a $50 gift card when a referred agent writes their first piece of business, and that's for direct to MAS agents only. And unfortunately, this does not apply to Medicare Advantage or dental production. So prospecting can be a challenge, but we're helping you be arm in arm with you and give you the tools necessary to help you be successful. So we understand that our long-term success will define itself based on your success as an agent or a carrier. Medicare Advantage Specialist is committing to exceeding our clients' expectations in every interaction and helping you achieve that same level of service with your customers. Agent support is our primary goal. So we provide every tool we can to assist you in your efforts to identify, inform, and close and follow your sales process. In practical terms, our marketing team works arm in arm with you to deliver print media, internet, direct mail, and other marketing tools to help keep your pipeline moving. And we have one of the most experienced support teams in our industry. So when you work with us, you don't need to buy T65 lists anymore. Plus, you get access to the Medicare Center, free marketing customization, and our quoting tools, and just really so much more. And so here's the phone number if you want to talk to one of the marketing directors or managers here today about any of the topics that I've gone over so far, as well as the actual webinar content today. We'll be happy to discuss that with you. So 800-480-9857, or you can check us out on our website, MedicareAdvantageSpecialist.com. So you may be asking yourself, really, what should I be doing now? And well, we're here strategizing and preparing for the AEP, and you really should be too. So be sure to outreach to your marketer here, as we've got some really great data put together with the 2023 landscape, as well as tons of marketing ideas. And with that being said, let's get to today's webinar subject. And with us today, we have Dimitri Simos. He is the Assistant Vice President of Sales with Guaranteed Trust Life, and we worked with Dimitri for a very long time and also consider him a friend. And with that being said, Dimitri, I'll go ahead and give you control, and let's see if we can't let you show your screen.
All right. Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. There we go. I think I did this correctly. You should be seeing my slide on the screen right now.
We do see you. Everything looks good.
Awesome. Oh, good morning, everyone. And Jason, thank you very much for hosting the webinar today. And yes, I've been working with MAS for a very, very, very long time. I'll put it to you this way. I started with GTL in 2004. I've been here for 18 years, and I believe 17 years of that I've been working with MAS. So we've been doing this a long time together, and great people. So if you're working with them, you're working with a good group of people for sure. So they'll definitely got your back, and that's really what you're looking for from a FMO partner, but also from a carrier perspective. That's kind of what we do. We try to have your back too with your clients, providing products and options so that this way they're going to have the best experience of having insurance as possible. What I'm going to talk about today is the best hospital indemnity plan on the market. It's the Advantage Plus Elite. It's a product that's been on the market since 2005. So back when Medicare Advantage really came out. Or at least under the new name Medicare Advantage, but but it's gotten really popular back then. If those of you who haven't been market for that long. Back in 2005, we weren't really sure, what Medicare Advantage meant or what it was. And as we were looking into it and understanding the program, one thing that was pretty obvious to us was that there was a lot of exposure from, to the insureds, from a hospitalization, radiation chemotherapy, and skilled nursing, and so forth. So that, and then the max out of pocket, of course, that's the big one, right? And so, and working with some, partners, and we decided, it'd be a good opportunity to be able to protect those exposures that the Medicare Advantage plan had. And so we developed our original product, the Advantage Plus, which we had it in the market. It's still in the market for 17 years going, and we haven't had any rate increases, any benefit decreases. We've done nothing but make the product better and better and better every year or so. As the Medicare Advantage market changes, we try to keep up with those changes and be able to provide some really good protection for your clients, so that this way can minimize the out-of-pocket expense that they have to be concerned with. And quite frankly, there is no secret to really how to do hospital indemnity plan. I'm going to go through the slides, and we'll talk about the how-tos and whys and product and some of the e-app functionality that we offer here at GTL. But it really is as simple as asking a similar question to, do you want fries with that? It's if we do this 100% of the time, to every one of our clients, we're going to be very successful in offering and protecting the other products. McDonald's has done that. Do you want fries with that for eons, right? That's all we need to do too. And one of the things before we get into this, I want to kind of level set in terms of your mindset, in terms of what does this mean, what we're talking about today. Prior to 2005, Medicare was the king of senior healthcare. And if you were to talk to somebody and that was 65 and above, it went without even hesitation that you would talk to them about a Medicare supplement. Even today, in today's world, you're talking to somebody that has Medicare Part A and B, you're going to probably talk to them about a Medicare supplement. So the difference that we're really talking about is we're talking now regarding a Medicare Advantage or Medicare Part C, which is basically A and B anyways, right? So all we're talking about with the hospital indemnity plan is that we got to make sure we cover that exposure. We're doing the exact same thing that we'd be doing on the traditional Medicare side, but we're doing it for a Medicare Advantage. And once we just want to make sure, I want to make sure that you kind of get yourself in that same mindset going forward. And then this will be very easy conversations for you to have now with your particular clients. So I know I did a lot of rambling on there for the beginning here, but that's kind of where I want to, kind of do some level setting here for you. For those of you that are not familiar with GTL, talk a little about GTL. We're a family-run business, medium-sized company, about 300 employees. We're housed out of that building you see on your screen there. All of our employees come into the office and do all the functions you expect an insurance company to do. We're based out of a suburb of Chicago called Glenview, Illinois. And we do everything at this office from, customer service, claims, underwriting, supplies, marketing, everything you can imagine. So anything insurance companies do is done here. And we're licensed in 49 states. The only state that we don't do business in is going to be the state of New York. And our AM Best rating is an A-, and hopefully in the next year or two, we'll get that up to an A. Financially wise, from a company perspective, we're doing really well. And, we anticipate that we'll be able to get that A rating in the next year or so. And then hopefully after that, a couple years later, we'll be able to get even higher ratings from there, from AM Best at least. And then we have zero debt on our books. Why is zero debt important? Because you know that your promises that we're making to your clients about protecting them will be able to handle those obligations, because we're not swimming in debt to be able to make sure we have dollars available to pay those claims that the clients will be submitting at some point down the road. Now, from an overall product perspective, Guaranteed Trust Life at GTL, we have a number of different products that you have access to with your contract under MAS. You don't have to contract for every single one of these products. One contract takes care of it all. So it's a real simple process. So we have cancer plans, precision care, or traditional cancer, heart attack, stroke. Our precision care, you're probably not familiar with it. If you are, you know that it's a lump sum cancer plan that also has a built into its base benefit, a genomic sequencing benefit. It's a one-of-a-kind product. If you are selling cancer insurance today, please reach out to your marketing manager or director and at MAS, and they'll be able to talk more about this product with you. But it's a great product and one that every client, doesn't matter if it's senior market or underage. I always think about 35 years old and above, we should always be having a conversation about cancer. And if you're wondering on, how do you start a conversation about cancer? It's very simple. Just ask them, who do you have your cancer plan with? Or, depending on the relationship you have with that client, you can ask them, do you have any friends or family that have been diagnosed with cancer? And they'll say yes. Well, of course, then you can have that conversation. So this conversation today is not about cancer, but I thought throw a little tidbits there about that. If you have clients in the underage major medical world, we do have accident plans, IGAP and 24-hour accident. That could be really good protection against deductibles that on the higher deductible side of the major medical world. So those could be good options for you there. Short-term care, those are great products because a lot of times, folks, they may want, LTCI type of protection, but there's issues, right? What are the issues with LTCI? It's expensive, and underwriting is difficult. A lot of folks may not be able to qualify or handle both or one of them. So having a conversation about short-term care, either a nursing home only product or a home healthcare product, could be a really good opportunity and discussion points with your clients. We also have a life insurance program called Heritage Plan. It's a greater benefit whole life. So if you have clients that are looking for final expense but have some health conditions and traditional final expense might not be available to them, the Heritage Plan would be one that would definitely fit the bill for your clients for sure there. And then obviously our hospital indemnity plan, the Advantage Plus Elite, that's going to be a product that's going to be that's definitely available, and that's one we're going to be talking about the rest of this time today. So why cross-sell hospital indemnity? I mean, I guess I can also know that question is why not cross-sell hospital indemnity, but the reason why you want to cross-sell hospital indemnity, it's about creating relationships when we're in our business. I'm not going to sit here and think that you're a salesperson. I'm looking at you as being the advisor to your clients. And as an advisor, you're going to want to have that, establish that trust, that relationship, and have that client always be looking to you for, the questions that they may have or provide answers and so forth. And how do you do that? The initial sale is a great way to start for sure, but then it's by adding additional products to your selling process, to your client's insurance portfolio. So, because the more you have in terms of products with a particular client, the more, as I want to use the word sticky, maybe sticky is the right word for it, they'll still be to you. If you have a client that only has one product with you, I think we all can attest to this on our own personal lives. If I've only got one thing going on with a particular company or situation, I'm not going to think twice about moving or doing something different with that. But if I have two products with a particular company or agent, or three, I'm gonna go back to that initial person that I have two or three things with because I've got a great experience with those people and I trust what they're going to tell me. So I'm going to go back to them. That's what part of cross-selling in general can do for you in the hospital indemnity is a natural fit in terms of when we're talking about the MAPD world. From the insurance perspective, you're going to have a lot of exposure out there that you're going to want to take care of for your clients, and they're going to have benefits that are going to be paid to them directly, so they can choose what they want to do with those dollars to take care of those copays, or maybe they're going to take the dollars and do something else with it. Up to them. But getting paid directly is definitely a big positive for the clients there. Now, I'm going to encourage you that we need to be presenting hospital indemnity to our MAPD clients at a minimum 100% of the time. Clear out the filters that we all have. We all have these filters. You know, whatever that filter may be, it doesn't matter. Is it the filter that I'm going to judge what a house looks like by the exterior? Am I going to judge what the neighborhood looks like? Whatever it is, clear out all the filters you have, and you got to present this product 100% of the time. Because in this relationship between yourself and the insured, there's only one person in that relationship, typically, probably 99.9% of the time, that can spell insurance. And that's you, the advisor. Medicare is confusing enough as it is, you know, for us, and we're in the business 100% of the time. You know, can you imagine for what it's like for folks that are trying to figure it out that can't spell insurance? It's almost impossible. So you need to be presenting this 100% of the time, because I promise you, your clients will not be asking you how to cover my out-of-pocket hospitalization costs on the MAPD plan you just presented to me. But if they do ask, when do you think it's going to happen? After a health event, and then it's going to be too late to apply for a hospital indemnity plan at that point. Why? You know, so that's why it's important that we want to do this 100% of the time while we're doing the MAPD, when the clients potentially can qualify for coverage and be able to protect them against the out-of-pocket exposure of the MAPD. Because then, you know, this way we're not going to have the worried-looking clients. We're going to have happier clients because they're going to have dollars coming to them. When we're talking about hospital indemnity plan, I know over the years, you know, I've been doing this again 17 years, so you know, I've talked to a lot of people about hospital indemnity, and along the way, I've heard people say, you know, hospital indemnity is not that big of a deal for, you know, for insureds. You know, they're not going to get, not a lot of benefits are payable to them. Well, on this slide, these are actual insureds that have been paid a benefit from their Advantage Plus program. So we have one insured that got paid almost $90,000 of benefits through their Advantage Plus program that they purchased. That's one person, not a combination of people. That's one. Now, if you were that agent that sold that client that program, not thinking they were going to get $90,000 out of it, but they got $90,000. Do you think that client's not happy with that particular agent, or even $46,000 that somebody, you know, an individual's received? Or how about if your client got $10,000 or $5,000 or 15, and whatever that number is, they're going to be ecstatic with you for protecting them against the financial need that they have, because the average amount of savings in the U.S. is about $8,000 to $10,000. That's the average amount of savings. Now, do I think that everybody out there that has a savings account is looking to use those dollars to cover their copays or healthcare expenses? The answer is probably not. They probably have other ideas to what they want to use those dollars for. So the whole purpose of what we're going to talk about today, and what we talk about in general with insurance, is we're talking about pennies on the dollar that represents premium to be able to get significant amount of benefit. And also as part of my travels, you know, I've had that conversation where, well, you know, the clients that I work with, they're very affluent. And I say, well, that's great. That's awesome. You know what? Even very affluent clients have a need for hospital indemnity insurance, because they probably didn't become affluent because they were unwise with their dollars. You know, they understand that, you know, you invest $1 to get $2, right? You know, so the same concept, pennies on the dollar for a significant amount of benefit. It's, you know, they're going to really understand that concept very easily. You know, yeah, you're going to have your few out there that, you know, if they had a $7,500 out-of-pocket maximum every year for the next 20 years, they're not going to care. You're going to have a few people that are like that, but most people are going to really understand and accept the rationale behind having a hospital indemnity plan, no matter you know, how well we think that they're doing. And at the end of the day, too, you know, we're looking at, you know, we've been in the market for 17 years. We've been paying claims for 17 years, and that's a very important piece to really pay attention to, because we've seen pretty much everything at this point. Now, obviously, I won't say everything, but you know, we've seen quite a bit. So we've been able to handle it over the last 17 years, and you know, we've had nothing. So our goal is to try to pay the claims for the clients that we're obligated to pay, but this way they're happy and this way they're happy with you, and this way you can keep on getting those referrals, which is our golden ticket in our business, right? Asking, being able to have referrals, which is important. And we're the only company that's been doing a hospital indemnity plan of this style for that long, and it's been a really good situation overall. Now, some other benefits of cross-selling. We've already touched on a lot of this that's going to come up on the screen here, but the one piece that I want to really kind of focus in on a little bit here is from a business perspective for you, the advisor. You're not doing this out of charity, and I realize that and I understand that. But the thing I want to point out is that it does cost some dollars. I know MAS does a great job in providing some help in terms of leads and so forth, but there's still dollars that are associated in getting you clients. So when you make a sale, a lot of times the initial commissions that come out of the initial sale are going to go against the cost. So then your net income is going to be X amount of dollars. But then every additional sale you make to that client is going to be gravy on top. So it's going to increase your profit per client every time you add an additional product to that particular client. So so don't look at it and saying that, oh, I got a lead for an MAPD, I'm going to sell an MAPD and I'm done, because you're minimizing the amount of opportunity you have from an income perspective. But if you add additional products to your client's coverages, now you're going to increase your profit per client. So that's obviously a good thing for you too. And again, it makes it much more stickier for that client to be there with you. And the last thing I'm going to point out real quick is that be unique in our industry. Don't be the agent that does the one and done type of scenario, because there's plenty of those. Be the one that stands out and actually does the extra step to do to advise the client of all the options available to them, because as you have more products available within a particular household to that person purchases from you, another agent can't get into that house now and try to flip that client to some other plan or some other scenarios. They're gonna come back to you to be able to, so you don't have to be at their door 24/7 protecting that house. By having other products in the household, will be doing that job for you. So it's so there's a lot of good big benefits there for you to be cross-selling in general. So let's talk about, how do we cross-sell hospital indemnity plans? It's very simple. Again, it's going to be a conversation about, do you want fries with that? And I'm a big believer that when we're advising clients, I want to be, first and foremost, I want to do like self-promotion first. And what do I mean by that? I mean that when you're talking to an insurer for the first time, or if you want to adopt this going forward, you can always have a conversation as part of your warm-up and just let your clients know what is it that you can do to help them. Like a little self-promotion, right? So I was going to say, well, as you know, we do, we're here to talk about Medicare today, or, we do Medicare because we've already done your MAPD or MedSup, whatever the case is. But in addition to talking about Medicare, we also work with other products in the, that can help be beneficial for you, such as hospital indemnity, cancer, long-term care, life insurance. Maybe you do annuities. So we'll be, at some point, during our relationship, I'll be bringing up these topics, and we'll have see if there's anything we can do to help them make your situation any better. That's your self-promotion, right? And then you go into your conversation about your Medicare, and you talk about Medicare supplement and how that works, and with traditional Medicare, and then you get into your conversation, and then you want to make sure you have your scope of appointment completed appropriately. And as you can see, the scope of appointment forms will have hospital indemnity on there. A lot of them will have cancer. A lot of them will have, health-related products. So, make sure you have all those other products initialed by your client. So this way, as you're having your conversation about your MA plan, you can talk about all the other health-related products. So you can make sure you have your scope completed appropriately, and then you're talking about Medicare Advantage program that you're going to talk to the client about. And you're going to bring up that the plan has 0 premium, or maybe they have a Part B give back in your particular area. That's a possibility, and we can talk a little. I can mention that a little later on when we're talking about product, premium and such. But that might be an option there too. So, You're going to bring up that there is a doctor's office visits copays. There's preventative services, whatever the copays are there. And then you're going to get to the part where it's inevitably going to say inpatient and hospital stay. You're going to be responsible for X amount of dollars per day from X amount of days, 1 through 6, 1 through 5, 1 through 7. That's pretty typical what I've been hearing lately. And so then this is a part where you're not going to want to sell the hospital indemnity at this point, but you're going to plant a seed. And by planting the seed, you're going to say, if this daily hospital copay is concerning or you prefer not to have to budget for it, don't worry. Because after review the Medicare Advantage plan's benefits and copays, I'll explain for about $1 a day how I can help lower your net out-of-pocket hospitalization expense to zero with a hospital indemnity plan. Does that sound good? How many of your clients are going to say no to that? Probably none. So now you just planted the seed. We did the big explanation here. We're going to talk about hospital indemnity and so forth. Okay, great. But then now you're going to get to a part when you're going to talk about, you might bring up the you'll bring up the skilled nursing copay. It's going to be $150 a day or $180 a day, whatever that is for your particular plan. And then all you're going to say at that point is that when we talk about hospital indemnity, I'll show you how I can protect this too. Or when you talk about the outpatient surgery copay, I'll show you how I can protect this also. Ambulance, I'll show you how I can protect. When we talk about hospital indemnity, I'll show you how I can protect you against this too, and so forth. All the various things that the hospital indemnity plan is going to be able to protect against. You're just going to reference that I can protect this for you when we talk about hospital indemnity. And this way the client's not going to be bogged down with I got to pay $100 for this, $250 for that, and so forth. They're just going to be worrying about the program itself, and then they know there's going to be a second conversation where I can protect against that. So now we're done with the Medicare Advantage presentation. The client accepts it. They want to go down that route, and you go through and you're doing the application. Now they're going to have to do a little. Now we're going to have to do a little transition period from the MAPD conversation to the hospital indemnity conversation. Now with our Advantage Plus Elite program, our brochure on the cover is a QR code, and on that QR code on the cover will give you access to our video so you can play it on your mobile device. So you turn your phone camera on, hover over it with your camera, tap it, and it's going to bring up the video. So that this way, when you have about 2-3 minutes left in completing your application, you can slide over, or you can use their phone if they'd like, and they can watch the video about cross-selling. I'm going to play that video for you right now.
Hey, Dimitri, I don't think we have any sound.
Okay. I've been having issues. Yeah, I've been having issues trying to figure out how to make the sound work. So, but you guys get the idea. There is sound on this. There's actually a voiceover kind of talking about the cross-selling of how the hospital indemnity plan can be helpful to the clients. But you guys definitely will have access to this through our e-app, or even if you have a brochure, you can scan it and so forth. So we'll go past this right now, but you guys kind of get the idea here of what the video can do for you. Now, this video could also be used as a marketing function too for yourselves. So if you already have a book of business of MAPD clients, or even Medicare clients in general, I mean, hospital indemnity plans don't have to be just sold to MAPDs clients. They can be sold to anybody that's between the ages of 40 to age 85. We can be creative. That's the beautiful thing about this. And you can take the link from the video, embed it into a Facebook post if you like. If you do an email blast to your clients, you can put a link there on the email so clients can access the video right off the email address. Or maybe you have a scenario of, maybe you have a website and you want to embed the video onto your website because you have clients that go to the website for information that you post that regularly. That's another place you can definitely use that. So you definitely have a lot of options that you can use the video for our Advantage Plus Elite. Other programs that we offer, like our cancer plans and such, cancer plans, short-term home health care, they have videos also, so you may want to use those for some of those other products too. But let's say you're in a scenario where you don't have access electronics. We'll just call it that. And you want an infographic that you can just slide over so that this way, when you're finishing up on your MAPD application, to kind of help get your client in the mindset of where we're going to go with this conversation next. You can definitely order some infographics to be delivered to your office so you have a supply of them, and use those in the transition also. Now, when we're talking about hospital indemnity, GTL's got a huge footprint in the U.S. regarding hospital indemnity. We have 44 states that have a hospital indemnity plan available to them today. You'll see the light green states are the Advantage Plus Elite states, which is the program that I'm going to go over today. Well, our original program, the Advantage Plus program, is available still, like in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Colorado, New Mexico, Indiana, and then I believe that is Maine over there on the right side, and Delaware. So we still have programs in those states too. And also in Florida, we have a product called Indemnity Plus Elite in Florida. It's the same as the Advantage Plus Elite program that I'm talking about today, but the biggest difference is that it's an association-based product in Florida. So the client would need to be a member of the association, and they'll get some value-added discounts as a member of the association, but then also get access to the insurance program of the Advantage Plus Elite that we're going to talk about today. So it's a really good program. The only states that we don't have protection available for, it's going to be in California, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Washington, D.C., and Alaska. So those are the only states that we don't have product available in today. But there is good news, though, to some degree. So if you have a client that has Advantage, that's available in their particular state, let's say we're in Alabama, we buy an Advantage Plus program in Alabama, and then I go on vacation to California, and I get hospitalized while I'm in California, because I have a plan that's available in Alabama, a client can still get benefits paid to them. So it doesn't matter where they travel to in the U.S. The benefits that they purchase in Alabama will follow them anywhere in the U.S. It also holds true if the client moves to a particular state that, let's say New York or California or Vermont, New Hampshire or something like that. That policy will still stay with them. They don't have to do anything about it. They just keep paying the premium. And if they get hospitalized in any of those states, they're going to still get their benefits paid. Unlike the residents that have been there their whole lives, they're not going to have access to this kind of program. So that's definitely a big positive there. Now, you're going to probably wonder, well, what happens if the MAPDs are changing year in, year out and so forth? Do I have to change it every year? Doesn't matter what the MAPD is. It could be a national MAPD, it could be regional, local. This program works on anything that has a copay that's associated with their health insurance. So, it's not something, and I'm going to show you when we go through the program here on how you can set it up so that you're not needing to worry about making changes on a yearly basis. Because one of the things I will tell you, and I think you all know this already, but I'll say it anyways. In the insurance world, we know two things to be true. One is if you want to increase coverage, it's always going to be a little bit risky, because first off, we're not going to be the same age we are today again. So we're going to be older. And then the other is that we're going to have to go through underwriting again. So we're not sure if you're going to be able to qualify 3, 4, 5 years down the road. But today, if I'm talking to you today, I know you can qualify. We're going to do that today. The other is that decreasing coverages down the road is always much easier. It's just a phone call. There's no underwriting needs to be happening when you're decreasing coverages. So nothing wrong with giving somebody a little bit more than what they need today in anticipation of any changes they might need in the future. So this way you're kind of protecting the client from having to worry about, being able to qualify from an insurability perspective. So let's talk about the Advantage Plus Elite product. How easy is it to be able to create a plan for your client? Actually, it's real simple. All you have to ask is figure out 2 simple questions initially. The first question is, how many days is the hospitalization copay on their MAPD? Is it 4, 5, 6 days? Whatever that number is, doesn't matter. So we have options that you can definitely, we can definitely accommodate with. We have a 1-day option that's available. We have a 3 through 10 option available, and a 15-day benefit period. The benefit periods will restore when the insured's out of the hospital for consecutive 60 days or longer. Doesn't matter if they use up all their benefit period or not, as long as they're out of the hospital for 60 days or longer, they're going to get a brand new benefit period. No limitations on how many times that will restore. It's an unlimited number of times in the lifetime of the product. So it's definitely, so that definitely able to have benefit payouts numerous times for a particular client. Now, one of the things that I will encourage you here is that, let's say, for example, we have an MAPD plan that's a 6-day benefit period. I'm going to encourage you to take a look at not matching up what the exact MAPD is today. Give them an 8-day benefit period, because I don't know what's going to happen next year, with an MAPD, or the year after, or the year after that. But I have a pretty good feeling that if I go about 2 days more than what I'm at today, I'll probably be safe in thinking that I'll be okay in terms of, covering any changes that could happen in the future for that MAPD. So that's one thing to pay attention to with the benefit period there. The second question you want to make sure you ask is, well, what's my daily hospitalization copay? Is it $250, $300, $350, whatever that number is? If I have an MAPD plan that has a one-day copay, and it's usually those are going to be a higher amounts, I can give a 1-day benefit period and choose between $1,000 and $2,500 in $10 increments. Or if I have a more traditional type of MAPD that has a 4, 5, 6, or 7-day copay scenario, those are usually, I've been seeing somewhere around, 250 to 400 is usually the range that I see more often. So we can, on a 3 through 10 or a 15-day benefit period, I can choose anywhere between $100 to $750 per day of daily benefit that'd be payable to the client. Now, again, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but if I have a $250 copay today with my MA plan, is it unreasonable to look at maybe a $300 or a $350 a day daily benefit? I don't think it's unreasonable whatsoever, because again, this is an indemnity product. So if your copay for that client is $250 on that MA plan, and they're getting, let's say they do a $300 plan with our hospital indemnity plan, we'll still pay them a $300 benefit. The extra $50 that they're going to have, that's the difference between the copay and the benefit they receive from us. They can do whatever they want with it. They can do whatever they want with the whole $300 to begin with. But from a lining it up perspective, they have extra $50 per day they're in the hospital to be able to utilize for any other kind of copays that they may be dealing with their MAPD. So there's some good positives there for the clients there for sure. Now, in addition, when we're talking about daily benefit periods, daily benefit amounts, we got to think about when are those payable to the client. With hospital indemnity plans, 24-hour stays in the hospital constitutes 1 day of being in a hospital. So if you have 5 days of 24-hour stays in a hospital, that's 5 days of benefit period that's going to be payable to the client. But what happens, and this happens often, when a client is hospitalized but gets discharged in the 21st, 22nd, 23rd hour. So they didn't make it quite to the first day of a benefit period. Well, with our plan, if the client's been hospitalized and discharged the initial 6 hours to 24 hours, so the first 6 to 24 hours, we will still pay them their first day benefit period. So if you have somebody that's on a 3 through 10 or 15, and they have a $300 a day plan, they're hospitalized and discharged the 23rd hour, right there, so close, they'll still receive $300 from our program. If they have a 1-day benefit period, and they have $1,000, let's say, and they get discharged, in the 23rd hour, then we'll pay them 25% of the $1,000. So they get $250 at least on the 1-day benefit period option. So that is that. Also, there's been a lot of conversation over the years, probably not so much as much these days, but it's still an important distinction to make here, is that observation stays, are problematic in our world. It seems like, in general. And with our program, we don't distinguish between observation stays or confinement. We look at the hours of being hospitalized. I know there's programs out there that will cap out the benefit of somebody receiving benefits on their plans, if they were in the hospital for X number of days and they were all day, let's say if they're in there for 10 days in a given year, you may only get 6 days of benefit. The other 4 days, it's out of pocket for that client. With us, if your observation stay for 10 days in a given year, you're going to get 10 days worth of benefit period paid to your client, which is a great peace of mind from an insurance perspective. You don't have to worry about any kind of limitations on our plan from that perspective. So I think it's a very beneficial for the insureds there. There is a $20 minimum monthly premium requirement, so you know. So when you're quoting it, as long as between the base and the riders, it's $20 a month, go ahead and issue a policy for the clients. And the benefit periods are, like I said, in $10 increments. Also, part of the base plan, this is an extra, this is part of it. We have an emergency room benefit, $150 a day if a client goes to emergency room or urgent care because of an injury. You heard me right, urgent care is also included in this. This is not an extra rider, this is part of our base benefit. Also, admittance to a hospital is not required any longer with the Elite program. Now, if you're in Advantage Plus states like Idaho or Washington and so forth, those darker green states there, then those you'll still have to go. I'll make sure you use those state-specific rules there. But in general, for Advantage Plus Elite and Indemnity Plus Elite, this is all true that I'm talking about right now. There's also a mental health benefit, $175 a day for up to 7 days if confined for a mental health condition. That right there is solid base plan. Right there, you know, a lot of clients, you know, will be very excited just from this perspective right here. Something I want to also mention to you, because I know a lot of us work with folks that are veterans, and knowing that veterans typically will go to the VA, and there's usually no expense to the clients, you know, to the veterans when they're using the VA. But if they have a hospital indemnity plan with GTL and they go to the VA and they're hospitalized at the VA, we'll still pay them a benefit as if they did have copays, you know, and they did have the hospital. A lot of plans out there don't pay because somebody went to a VA. With us, we do. All that the insured would need to do that went to the VA, file a claim. We'll reach out to the VA, get the information from the VA in terms of what their admittance time and date was and when their discharge time and date was, and pay them the appropriate accordingly. So I think it's a great sales tool for our veterans out there. Definitely well deserved and well needed for them to have that benefit. Now, this, as I mentioned, this was our base plan. Now we're going to get into riders, and riders is really what rounds out the program overall. You can do ambulance rider, provides $50 to $400 of benefit 4 times per year, 12 lifetime trips. And that means that if a client was at home, got an ambulance ride from home to the hospital, and then had to transfer the next day from the hospital to another medical facility, that triggers another benefit. So they'll get 2 benefits out of that one scenario there. Again, though it's 4 times per year, you know, and it's 12 lifetime trips. And air ambulance is also a trigger for that ambulance benefit rider there for the clients. Now, this ambulance rider is something you definitely must add to every single one of the base plans. And this right here is something else that I believe should be added to every single one of the your presentations that you're talking to with your clients. Because, you know, 1 out of 2 men will get diagnosed with cancer in a lifetime, 1 out of 3 women. And if somebody has an MAPD and they get diagnosed with cancer, the likelihood of them meeting the maximum out of pocket is really, really good. You know, we all know under the Part B drug copays on the MAPD, it's a 20% radiation chemotherapy copay. Gets applied to the maximum out of pocket. And by protecting at least 1 year's worth of maximum out of pocket exposure that they have, their MOOP, is good. If you can do 2 times, it'd be even better. And the reason why you might want to consider 2 times is because, you know, if somebody gets diagnosed with cancer in October, November of this year, you know, their treatment's not going to stop on December 31st of 2022. You know, treatment's going to continue on into 2023. That means their MA just reset and they have to pay new out-of-pocket maximum. So that's so if you can do 2 times maximum out-of-pocket, that's that'd be a good thing overall from a client's out-of-pocket exposure perspective. The lump sum cancer is a benefit that's payable upon growth spreading cancer diagnosis. You can choose from $2,500 to $20,000 of benefit. There's also built into this rider is a cancer in situ benefit, which is 25% of the lump sum amount. And there's also a skin cancer benefit, which is $500 benefit for basal cell or squamous cell skin cancer carcinoma. So that's your everyday type of skin cancer. It's not threatening in any way. You go to a dermatologist, remove it. They really don't really think twice about it. They just tell you, you know, put some sunscreen on. You know, don't be out in the sun as much. You know, they really aren't too concerned with that one. This type of skin cancer, at least, it's payable 3 times over the life of the policy, 1 time per year to get that $500 benefit. That's a $1,500 benefit in total on top of the lump sum cancer amount that they've chosen for the for the growth spreading cancer types there. There is a 30-day wait for the cancer rider, just so you know there. Also, you can choose to add a recurrence benefit option. And what this does is that if someone got paid out a benefit, let's say it was $10,000, then they got $10,000 paid out for the growth spreading cancer diagnosis. They go through treatment, they're deemed to be in remission. That's when the clock's going to start. And if they're in remission for 5 years or longer, that benefit is going to restore fully back to the $10,000 amount. If they got diagnosed with the same or different cancer less than 5 years, you see the percentages on the right side of the screen there, that's what percentage of the lump sum amount is going to get paid back out to the client. If they're diagnosed after 1 year, if after, it'll be 10%, years 2 and 3, 25%, year 4, 50%, and then obviously 5 or longer, it'll be full restoration again. So unlimited number of times of restoration. So not that, probably won't, hopefully it doesn't happen too much for clients, but I can tell you out of experience that if you get diagnosed with cancer once, the likelihood of getting diagnosed with cancer a second time is pretty good. So this could be a pretty significant benefit. It's a very, very affordable option. It's only about around $3 a month of a premium to add the recurrence option for your clients. Another important rider is going to be a skilled nursing rider. And the reason why this is important is because there's exposure there too. The first 20 days, it's covered by the MAPD plan. And then the exposure comes in after that. And we have two options that you can offer, days 1 through 50. So it's day one option, day one coverage. So if they're in a skilled nursing facility, even though there's no copays, they'll still be able to receive anywhere from $100 to $220 a day in benefit. Or there's option 2, which is days from 21 to 100, which matches up a little bit better with the MAPD plan. Again, you can choose from 100 to 220. Now, between the two, I'll tell you that the option 1 is going to be a little bit more pricier from a premium perspective. Option 2 is going to be definitely much more budget friendly. One of the things that's really neat about this rider, and that's why I say you can get creative with using our hospital indemnity plan with various types of health care, not just MAPDs. Maybe you got a client that's got Medicare supplement. They're worried about Medicare not paying their skilled nursing benefits. Because Medicare, you got to do 3 days of confinement in the hospital, and then they're admitted within 30 days. With us, we still have 3 days of confinement, but it's not about confinement. It's about 3 days in the hospital, observation or confinement. Doesn't matter which one of the two. As long as they're in the hospital for 3 days, that will trigger the benefit of being able to receive skilled nursing benefits from this plan. And unlike our standalone short-term care nursing home programs out there, this has unlimited restorations after 60 days of the client being out of the skilled nursing facility. So that's a pretty big deal right there too. So there's a lot of opportunity there for clients. Like if I were to take, if I were to try to do simple math, because we've got to keep it simple. If I were to give somebody a $200 a day benefit period, $200 a day benefit, and I chose option 2 from days 21 to 100, that's about 80 days of benefit. That's $16,000 of benefit that I could get to be able to offset any exposures I'm going to have and any type of health program that I have. So you might have a client out there that might want to do a minimal, maybe a couple hundred, maybe $100, $150 a day of daily benefit, with 5-day benefit period, and then add on skilled nursing, add on lump sum cancer because you like those riders. Med Sup clients are not going to hate you for doing that for them either, because there's definitely a lot of opportunity for for a need there for them. And also, we do have an outpatient surgery rider. That's 2 times per year payout. You can choose $250 to $1,000 a lump sum benefit for the client. Now, remember, this is outpatient surgery, not outpatient diagnostic. Big difference. I get this question all the time. What happens about MRIs or X-rays and CAT scans and such? That is not covered under this rider. This is only covered for outpatient surgeries, such as cataracts or things like that. Outpatient procedures. Very affordable rider too, by the way. When we look at the pricing, you'll see how affordable that is at $250. And then we also do offer a lump sum hospital benefit. So in addition to the daily benefit amount that the client can choose, they'll also can choose an additional $250, $500, or $750 on top of what they get from 1 day of hospitalization. And that's only available from 3 through 10 or 15-day benefit period options. But you might have a plan that might have a need for that. So that's an option there, and that also restores when the insured's out of the hospital for consecutive 60 days or longer. Outpatient therapy rider. There's a really neat rider here. $50 benefit per day for physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech therapy on an outpatient basis. That's a great benefit for folks. Now you can choose a 15 or 30-day benefit period. I'm going to tell you, only use the 30-day benefit period, because from a dollars and cents perspective, it makes more sense that way. I know it's a tongue twister there, but so if I got $50 a day for 30 days, I'm looking at $1,500 benefit, and that's going to cost me $6.99 a month at the 30-day benefit period mark. Also, I'm going to also get chiropractic care covered at $50 per day for up to 5 visits per calendar year. So now you're talking about another $250. So you're like at $1,750 of benefit on this program on a yearly basis, if that happens on a yearly basis for them. So it's a very nice rider there. Critical accident rider. Now this one here is this one's it's an appropriate rider for the age group, being if it's senior market, because let's face it, this is going to be an accidental death benefit of $5,000 or $10,000, but they can get access to that benefits in advance. If how many times have we heard that seniors have fallen and broken a hip? I'm sure we hear that all the time, right? So if I had a $10,000 plan, I fell and broke my hip, I can get $2,500 right for falling and breaking my hip. But once I get that $2,500, I'm going to reduce my $10,000 accidental death benefit down to $7,500. And then down the road, if I had a hip dislocation, I got $2,000 for that, I'll reduce that $7,500 down to $5,500 and so forth. And again, there's also a 30-day wait on this. So it's a neat rider. Am I going to tell you this is something a must-have on a MAPD type of sale? No, it's not a must-have, but if it's a nice add-on for if folks' budget can accommodate for it. It's definitely a nice add-on for sure. There's some product helpful closers along the way when we're talking about this plan. You got to know that there's a guarantee issue window. I'll talk about that more here in a moment. Issue ages, I think I mentioned, was ages 40 to age 85 in most states. It is guaranteed renewable for life, as long as they're paying a premium. They're going to hit the policy in force. This is issue age pricing. So if somebody purchased a plan today at age 65, let's say, and they're paying $40 a month, it's going to stay $40 a month for many, many years to come. We have, I mentioned that we had this program in place for 17 years, and we haven't had any rate increases or benefit decreases in that 17-year history. And so I'm pretty confident to be able to say that you can tell your clients that this rate's going to be pretty much locked in for a long time to come. So, and then there isn't going to we've done away with the application fee with our Advantage Plus Elite programs. If you're selling Advantage Plus, there is still that application fee in those states, but Advantage Plus Elite, we've done away with the application fee, so you don't have to explain to the client that first month is going to be a higher withdrawal and then go down the following months. Now what we've done is we've done a annual policy fee, and which is going to be commissionable to you in the first year. And again, benefits are paid directly to the policyholder. So hopefully, now from a product perspective, this all kind of makes sense from everything we've kind of led up to where at this point. Probably something that really, in my mind, solidifies why we should be talking about hospital indemnity with our clients is this. If we have a client that has an MAPD that has an ambulance copay of $250 and has a hospitalization copay of $300, if they were to go into the hospital for one day utilizing an ambulance, their out-of-pocket copay with their MA plan is going to be $550. So I can create a plan for my client to cover their copays using a 6-day benefit period as my example here. For at age 65, my annual premium would be $320.55. So already on one day of hospitalization, I'm already doing better than what I would have paid on my annual premium perspective. Now, let's take that a step further. Let's say I have a 6-day benefit period in my hospital indemnity plan. Well, what happens if my MA plan is a 6-day copay also? Now I'm in the hospital for 6 days. That's $1,800 that I'm going to be responsible for plus the $250 for the ambulance for the same $320 of annualized premium. That part didn't change. And then if I restored it because I was out of hospital for 60 days or longer, and I was hospitalized again for another, for another 5 days, or I had another $1,500 exposure, I promise you, your clients are going to be really, really happy with you for having this conversation and bringing up, the hospital indemnity sale. Now, I mentioned earlier that I'm a believer that we want to try to give a little bit more than what they have today in terms of protection with our hospital indemnity plan. So if I had a copay of a 6-day copay with my MA plan, and I did $250 was my copay for that particular plan, if I wanted to give more on my daily benefit, instead of $250, give them $300, but keep the 6-day copay, it cost me $24.93. But if you kind of agree with my idea of giving them a little bit more from a benefit period perspective to account for any changes that may occur down the road, and you went with the 8-day benefit period option, you notice it's only a $3 a month difference to be able to provide some additional protection against any changes of an MAPD plan down the road. So I think that $3 a month is going to be well worth it to the client when it's all said and done. As you can see, the ambulance rider at $200 of benefit, very, very affordable. That's why I say you should add that automatically to every single one of the clients. Lump sum cancer is also a very affordable option there for $7,500, which that's a federal number of $7,500 of max out-of-pocket exposure. So that's another great one right there. Skilled nursing option at $170. That's $11 a month at $170 at age 65. So affordable when we're thinking about the amount of dollars that you can get out of that 170. So that 170, if I were to multiply that out by 80, that's $13,600 of benefit that the client has access to. That's assuming they only used it one time, not if they used it twice either. So because of the restoration options. Outpatient surgery, I mentioned to you that it's a very affordable option at $250 of benefit. You can see that's what that is. And that's the same at any age, 70, 75. So that's going to stay consistent from a pricing perspective, no matter how old you get there. Outpatient therapy, the same thing. That's consistent. If it's 65-year-old, 70-year-old, it's going to be consistent at $699 for a 30-day benefit period on the outpatient therapy. So I have no qualms whatsoever presenting this option, all these options here to a client. I have no problem with doing that whatsoever, because again, this is going to be zero premium MA. Maybe there's a give back, right? We talked about the give backs. What does that give back look like? Is it a $40, $50 give back? Depending on the plans that you're working with. So now you got clients that are paying zero premium on their MA plan. They're getting Part B give back, so they got an extra X amount of dollars. So their net cost of insurance may only be $30 or so a month. That's going to be so affordable for clients at the end of the day to be able to give them ultimate and complete protection. But if you want to kind of keep it bare boned, this is something that I think is very achievable and makes a lot of sense. I would always present at the minimum what you see on the screen here, the 8-day, like a benefit period, daily ambulance rider, lump sum cancer, and skilled nursing. And then I present what the number is, depending on their age and what their age is. But let's say it's $67 a month. And I'm going to say, okay, this is what I believe will protect all the big exposure that you have on your MAPD plan, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And then they're going to say one of two things. You know what, that sounds great. Or they're going to say, yeah, that's still outside of my budget. And I know you've already had the conversation with your clients about how MedSup is, it's going to go up in cost and this is going to be a fixed cost and so forth. So that's okay. They don't want it, they don't feel comfortable with $67, not a problem. Well, you want to remove the skilled nursing rider and just do cancer and the base benefit and ambulance for $54.85 a month? You're going to get a lot of people to say yes to that. Or maybe the client turns around and says, you know what, I'm not really concerned about the lump sum cancer benefit, because but I am concerned about skilled nursing. How about if we add that and remove the lump sum cancer? Maybe they'll say yes to the $43.36 then. You're gonna have some clients, they're gonna say no to both those options. They don't want those two riders at all. then you're going to end up with a base coverage of $30.65 per hospitalization benefit and ambulance rider. That's a great solid. That's a great solid ending too. Anything is going to be better than nothing at all, is the best way I can put it. And another way to kind of look at it from the premium side of all this is, again, pennies on the dollar to get access to a significant amount of benefit. So a $2,400 benefit they can get on an 8-day, $300 a day base benefit, that's $2,400. If I were to pay $28 a month for the next 6.9 years, that's when I would break even. Meaning that's how long it takes for me to save $2,400. But if I have this plan and I get hospitalized in year 1, 2, or 3, and I'm in there for 8 days, I'm getting $2,400 in years 1, 2, or 3. Ambulance trip, I have to save for 11.7 years to break even. For one ambulance trip, $250. Lump sum cancer rider, that's a 25-year break-even point there. Think about this, at age 65, let's say, somebody needs to be paying until they're age 90 before they break even on having this lump sum cancer rider. What's the likelihood that they're going to get cancer between 65 and 90 if they haven't already done so? 1 out of 2 men, 1 out of 3 women. Hopefully it doesn't happen, of course. We don't want it, we don't want that, but it does happen though, so it's something to protect against. Skilled nursing, 83 years you have to save $1,271 to break even. Outpatient surgical, 6.7. Outpatient therapy, 20.8. So as you can see, when we talk about pennies on a dollar, for a significant amount of benefit and reusable benefit, there's a lot of good opportunities. And remember, this is just one-time payouts. So if somebody had it restored and they got paid out again on a particular benefit, that increases the number of years that they have to save those dollars to break even. So instead of 20.86 years, it's going to be 40 years if they use it multiple times. For let's say for outpatient therapy, or maybe it was benefit. Maybe it's the base benefit. It was 6 plus years of saving those dollars. Then it goes up to 12 years of having the break even point, and so forth. So this definitely makes a lot of sense from a client's perspective. I know I'm going through a lot of information here, but I promise you we're getting close to the end here. But underwriting, this is not last but least. This is huge right here. Super easy underwriting. 5 health questions. Answer the questions no, the policy is going to be issued. And if you have a client that's between the ages of 64 and a half to 68, so that means 64 and a half to age 67 and 364 days, it's going to be guaranteed to issue where they don't have to answer the first 5 health questions. That's a huge opportunity now. We just came out with this a couple weeks ago. This is huge. So now, because why is it big? Because we have not all your clients are turning 65. You have a lot of folks that are coming into Medicare that are 66 and at age 67. So this affords you the opportunity to be able to give them the coverages, get them the coverage that they need when they're purchasing an MAPD from you. Now, if you're offering the lump sum cancer rider, that's never a guaranteed issue. We always have to answer those 3 questions on the lump sum cancer, but that's a 3-year look back. Our health questions are real simple health questions on the hospital indemnity side of it all. It's a 3-month look back from a hospitalization perspective and a 12-month look back for the chronic illnesses. So it makes, so it's really, we really designed this to try to get as many people covered as possible. But one thing I do ask that your clients understand, and I don't want them to become insurance professionals and know all the ins and outs of insurance, because that's not their role. But please explain to them what does pre-existing condition mean. The coverage, this plan is day 1 coverage, unless the client was seeing a doctor for something within the 6 months that the policy was issued, and it's not going to be a covered condition for the first 6 months that the policy is in force. If that scenario caused them to be hospitalized 6 months and 1 day after the policy is enforced, then that would be a covered condition for that pre-ex, but not within that 6 months. So I want to make sure the clients understand that. I want them to be happy with with the choices and coverages that they're talking about with them. So that's something that I think is important for them to understand. Now this right here is a little map to kind of show you where our guarantee issue windows are going to be up to age 68 at. The light green states, or that's going to be, Florida, Alabama, the Southeast. Those are going to be up to age 68. The darker green states, like Louisiana, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Virginia, those are all still going to be currently at age 65 and a half, up to age 65 and a half. I can tell you there's a couple states that are going to come out either today or tomorrow that are switching over to 68, but those haven't been announced as of yet. And then the other states like New Mexico, Colorado, Idaho, and Washington, those are going to be those are going to be GI from 64 and a half to 65 and a half. And if you're wondering what our health questions look like, this is how simple our health questions are. 3-month look back on hospitalization or any kind of home healthcare services. 12 months on the chronic conditions. 5-year look back on the cancer question. So what does that mean? So that means that if someone was diagnosed with cancer and has been in remission for 5 years or longer, they qualify for coverage under our lump sum cancer rider. That's pretty big. Now we have probably, EAPs are not new to GTL. We've been doing EAPs since 2009. We came out with our initial EAP offering, and especially mobile app, too. So we've got a number of different options you can use from an EAP perspective. You can download a mobile app. So this way, if you have if you have an Apple phone or an Android phone or a tablet, you can do an application right there in front of the client and capture their signature and submit it and get a policy issue within a couple minutes after submission. Or if you're doing over the phone type sales with your clients, then you can do an EAP on our website. And then this way we would prompt you to do a voice verification call, or as I'll show you, there's another option if if your client doesn't want to do a voice verification call, you can, if you're doing a web-based EAP, invite a customer to send them an email link to complete the application. I'll show you how that works. But one of the things that I wanted to point out to you from our EAP that's available on the website, we have this tool that's called Fill the Gaps tool. I think it's a phenomenal tool that is available to everybody that's contracted with GTL. You click on Fill the Gaps tool, you see the screen that says, enter in a zip code. So you enter in a zip code of where you're working, and then you ask the client, well, which MA plan are you on? Or maybe it's an MA plan you're talking to them about. And so if it's a client that you're prospecting with and you know they have an MA plan, you might not be familiar with all the plans that are available in that area code. You pull up the particular MA plan they're using. Then you say, oh, which plan is it? Okay, I got that information. Then it's going to pull up some of the copays that we can cover for them on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side is what we can protect for them with a hospital indemnity plan. It's something that's really compact, nice, easy one place to be able to look at for you as a resource, but also to help show your clients what it is that you can do for them from a protection standpoint. And then you can either go straight into an application at this point and then make some adjustments for the coverage that they may want, or you can go back to the EAP and go into the quoting tool or anything else you might want to look at. Again, we have a mobile app. You can download that. Just do a search of GTL EAP. You'll see the turquoise colored logo right there. And then that turquoise colored logo, you're in the right spot. And then no matter if you're using our web-based services or if you're using a mobile app, you can use the same username and password that you'll create to take care of the to do your logins, so you don't have to do multiple, remember different username and passwords depending on the device you're using. Now I'm going to show you a video here of how quick and easy our EAP process is. Now, to access our EAP on the web, you go to gtlic.com and then you click on agent login right there. On the initial page, if you're first time logging in, you'll see where it says the bottom there, sign up now. You sign up now, put in the agent number that we provided you, some other information, and then you create your username and password, and you go back to that screen and input it, and then you get to the quoting tool here. And then this is where you choose a state, then you choose products that you might want to offer your clients. to answer all the questions, no. You know, it'll allow you to go through. This is a smart system. So this is where you'll type the client's name in. Is if you have a mobile app, this is where you would sign the client would sign their name, banking information. And then right here is on the voice verification. We'll prompt the agent to do the voice verification call, which is an AI system. They'll ask a few questions like what's their name, date of birth, social security number, what's the agent's name, what's the name of the product that was purchased, did they answer the question truthfully, and then there's a monthly premium associated with it, and then the client, then you go ahead and then once that's verified, you go ahead and submit the application. Client will receive the leave behind forms via email, and then if the client provided an email address, we will send them a welcome kit via email once the policy is approved and submitted, which takes a couple of minutes for that part to happen. And then a few minutes later, they'll get the welcome email, which the welcome email is going to have a welcome letter on there, how they can access their policy 24/7, 365 days off of our website at gtlic.com. And then there's going to have a summary of benefits of what was purchased, and then also like a pseudo card of their GTL card, so they can keep that information at home. We don't want them to put that in their wallet or anything like that, because we don't want they may not want to have their benefits assigned to the hospital. So if you don't have it in the wallet, hospital can't put it in there. And then if you do have a situation where maybe a client doesn't want to do a voice verification call, you could, instead of filling out the application for them, you can with our hospital indemnity plan, you can do a click invite to apply, and you would input your email address, your client's email address, and they'll send them a link to fill out the application, fill out the banking information, ask some security questions, and then they hit submit, and then you'll get notified to go back into your e-app under review resume, and then be able to review the application that was submitted, sign it and then submit it, and then the policy again would be issued within a couple minutes. So a real quick process there. I know, like I said, I've gone through a lot of information today, and I know the folks at MAS are well versed in our hospital indemnity program and all our programs, quite frankly. And but if you do have any questions that we can assist you with, our sales support folks are here from Monday through Thursday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time, and on Fridays from 8 to 12 Central Time. A toll-free number they can be reached at is 800-323-6907. You can also text that number with any questions you may have. They'll respond to you via text, or if you want to email our folks at sales support, you can email them at agency@gtlic.com. Also, one thing to point out too is that you can also, if you have questions about underwriting, feel free to call into underwriting and ask them a particular question if you're not sure if you should be answering a question yes or no. Underwriters can, a lot of times guide you down the right direction on how something should be answered. So anything we can do to help you guys, we'll try to do our best to make that happen. I do appreciate you taking the time to listen to this long conversation today about hospital indemnity plans and cross-selling. And I think once you actually do this a few times and you get comfortable with this, that you'll be very proficient, and this will be a very easy, natural part of your sales process. So thank you for what you do, and thank you MAS for hosting again. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer any.
Yeah, actually, we do have. I think you've answered all the questions except for one, and I'll let you address this. It says, if a client gives their GTL card to the hospital, will GTL work directly with the hospital for payment?
Yes, that's the assignment of commissions. We're required to pay the hospital benefits that the client would have, and this is the part. This is why I don't recommend that folks do the assignment of benefits, because if there's any extra dollars then that the hospital isn't due to them, then the client's going to have to wait for a refund from the hospital.
That makes sense.
That's why I said, don't have your clients tell them about the GTL hospital indemnity plan or any of our programs. Quite frankly, just keep that to the side. Let us deal with the client directly and getting dollars to the clients. So this way, the client has control over what they do with their dollars.
Makes total sense. Okay. Well, I think that's it, Dimitri. You did a really good job. That's exciting about all this, about this product, and all the new bells and whistles, and making it super easy to work with this product and GTL.
Well, great. Thanks.
All right,
Thanks a lot, Jason.
no problem. Thank you everyone for attending. Give us a call if you have any questions. Have a great day.